I'm here with David Reed, Stargate expert for Propworx Incorporated. David, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Pleasure.
First and foremost, obviously it's a cliche question, but one I have to start with ultimately. Who are you and what is it that you do for Propworx?
My name is David Reed. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Die-hard Stargate fan. I've been watching the show since the first season actually started airing in syndication. What I do for Propworx is basically every single week decide what is going to be going up on the eBay auctions. It's 100 items a week, 40 costumes, 50 props and set deck pieces, and 10 pieces of art. In addition to that, we are working on 2 live auctions right now. The first one is tentatively set to launch in September. And it's around 1,000 pieces of Stargate memorabilia from all 15 seasons of Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis. It's a lot to go through. It takes a great deal of time. We've spent months just deciding what's going to be in which auctions, because there's thousands and thousands of pieces in this warehouse, and we want to get it right the first time. And then we have to photograph it, which is something we've been doing for the past 4 or 5 months now, and doing production and technical descriptions for it, and then descriptions for the catalog itself. And that's basically my task right now in a nutshell.
Speaking about the vast inventory you have here, how difficult is it to keep track of everything?
It's not that difficult to keep track of everything, actually. Once I sit something down, I've managed to put a basic idea of where it is in my head. For the smaller pieces, if you don't keep track of where you are, where they are, you're hosed. It's all over. There's no way of knowing when you're going to come across something again. So keeping good records of where everything is very important. I have to say, if I'm hit by a bus, the company's going to be set back by a couple of months trying to find everything. I probably need to do a better job about writing things down about where they are. But I mean, the bigger stuff, you can tell where it is. And a lot of the smaller pieces, we have a whole section up in the front there that is just there for all the smaller stuff, for the weekly eBay stuff and this and that. For the live auctions, everything's in bins and it's all numbered and all in a spreadsheet. So you have a main database where everything is. So it's not that difficult. I thought it was going to be insane, but as long as you're systematic with it and you have a plan from the beginning, you're going to be okay.
Excluding the number of upcoming Kevin Smith items that you have
Yes.
that you'll be auctioning off, approximately how many Stargate items, props, costumes, set deck, etc. do you have here?
We estimated when we first came down out of Vancouver just how much stuff we had, and we had in the neighborhood of 6,000 items. That's a lot of stuff. Now that, I mean, we had boxes, and I'm sure 500 to 1,000 of those are just shoes. We had a huge inventory of boxes. The problem was in Vancouver. Vancouver is obviously not the United States, it's Canada. So when we had to cross the border, we had to organize everything that we had for a manifest so that when it crossed the border through customs, it would all be organized. That was a blessing and a curse. It was a curse up there because we had to spend so much of our time cataloging every single thing that we had. Every pair of shoes, everything that was in every box, every crate, every pallet for every truck that we sent back down with us. About 6 trucks, 6 semi-trucks worth. But it was a blessing on this side because we had an inventory of everything that was in the warehouse. So that was good. That was good. It was a starting point for us. It didn't, the team that was in Vancouver, I was a part of that team. That was my first gig with this company. And then they hired me when those trucks were brought back down here. So I was already fairly aware of pretty much everything that was going to be in the warehouse to start with. So it was a good starting place. Hiring me was a good starting place because I knew what we had. So someone else would bring someone in here. Okay, what have we got here? Oh, God. So that's where I started.
Now, we're talking about, all sorts of odds and ends here and how difficult certain things are to keep track of, how much easier other things are to keep track of. Just how difficult is it when an auction is right around the corner to really prepare yourself for everything that needs to be done when that auction begins?
I haven't had the privilege of being a part of one of the major live auctions yet, so I'm not specifically sure precisely how we're going to go about doing it, but I would surmise that well, the live auction is an event. It's not just a sale. we want to bring some things to the auction. Since Stargate's going to be 2 live auctions, we want to bring some things to represent both auctions, to let the people who are there know, hey, this is what you're going to be getting to purchase the next time. So be sure to swing back around because, you know, you're going to be able to purchase this. Everything has to be organized beautifully and meticulously before the auction occurs so that we know where it is, we know what everything's made of, what everything's going to be, what everything's going to cost to ship. So we have an idea of the things that we want to bring to the live auction to show off. So we have to have a handle on what everything is that we want to have in the first auction to sell. In addition to the things that we want to just have there be displayed. That's going to take a couple of weeks, I imagine, before the first live auction to make sure that everything is organized in the right space and the right spot so that when it gets down to the last couple of days before the trucks come to ship everything to Pasadena or wherever it's going to be, I don't know yet, that it will be organized. So that's a big challenge.
As we've seen, there's been a lot of change in the prop industry. I'm a perfect example of that. There's obviously a lot more coverage now. So in an effort to keep up with the changing times, do you think that Propworx may do something out of the norm with the auction? Maybe spice it up a little bit, give people a reason to come there other than just the auction pieces itself? Because obviously it's becoming a very competitive business right now. And the best thing an auction house or a shop could do is find a way to one-up their competition.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's a very interesting point, that this industry is really getting started. And one of the reasons that I'm here is because I think that Propworx does this kind of thing exceptionally well. I was taken with the Battlestar auctions first and foremost. That's how I found out about the company, long before they were ever doing Stargate. So they're doing something right. Also, you know, because it's so big, there's a lot of accountability. You know, you're not going to be able to slip something through that was not actually not seen on screen or not used in a certain way. You know, there are people who are going to call you out if you do something wrong like that, and rightfully so. In terms of Propworx doing something cutting edge, obviously that is important. Again, I have not had a chance to participate in these live auctions before, so this is all new to me. I think, you know, we're going to have to do something more than just showing up with costumes and props at the auction itself to display there and then have the auction. I know that for the Battlestar auctions, they had cast and crew come in, and it was like a kind of a convention. I think that that is a great way to go, because then it gives an added incentive to show up, because you're going to not only meet you're not only going to have a chance to bid on these items that your favorite stars wore, but actually have a chance to meet the stars themselves. So if we can arrange that for Stargate, I think that that would be a real coup. They did it with Battlestar very successfully. In addition to that, I don't want to give too much away, but we're going to want to be showing a couple of extremely key pieces at the first live auction that won't be available until the second live auction, that will showcase just what we're made of with the Stargate auctions. I don't want to say too much at this point, but it's going to be an event that you're going to want to be at.
David, we appreciate the time, and I'll definitely see you at the first auction.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.